Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Frankie B, and we are back in the art flow. Well, this is, I would technically call this the part two to a video that I did, which is a continuation of what I started on the art draw store, the live draw that I did with Pete and Kier. That just happened this past weekend. All right. So what happened was there was a discussion that was brought up about Letratone and the reasons of why I don't do a lot of Letratone stuff. It's still something that I do cherish very much, but I think that in context, I think it's important to try to explain to people the reasoning why. First off, I wanted to show you, this is a pack of unopened deleter tones, a deleter screen tone set that I got. Ordered these actually through Amazon. Took a while, came from Japan. This is what a lot of manga artists I are using. And this would be considered like screen tone that you would, use on a paper. I haven't yet played around with them, so I don't really feel that confident in using them just yet. So I won't be using them for the cards, just because I don't want to spend a video trying to go through trial and error and stuff like that, and then end up screwing up the cards, because then once it's laid down, it could be a hassle to try to pull up and stuff like that. So with that said, I just wanted to show you guys this was an option. So if you're ever interested in trying to play around with it, it's called Deleter. It's the brand Screen Tone Set 1, and they have the different variation. But yeah, I haven't opened this up yet. Now this is what I use. As you can see, it's already been used up again. This is Letratone, and Letratone was produced a lot back when I got into art school back in 1990. No, it was 80, 89, say like 91. Yeah, this was used, but it used previously before. I think this was the major brand that was a lot of places were using back in even the 70s. I want to say possibly even the 60s or 70s. I'm not sure Letratone is made anymore. So any kind of Letratone I've seen, sheets that pop up, they're usually on eBay, and it's really like whatever you can get, and that's what happened. These sheets are very hard to find. That's another reason why I don't do Letratone. I don't do a lot of Letratone, because these are all that I have. I have a couple other ones, but I'm very limited by what I can actually do. So, and since they're so rare, it's just like, it's just really tough. So this is what a Letratone sheet would be. You get the Letratone on here, you'd have the percentage, and then you'd have what the code up here. So that's how you would know what it is. Now, I brought out two different versions, each one's a different percentage of gray tone. I'm gonna try to lay it down and see which ones kind of work, and I'll just play with that and go that way. Letratone is a very, it can be a somewhat tedious kind of process of laying down, because you're relying on your trusty X-Acto knife. Now, I don't have a burnisher. Years ago I had one. A burnisher was like a sort of tool. How can I describe it? It had like almost like a little spoon, kind of. I guess that's the best way to kind of describe it. But it would allow you to kind of burnish it, so you can sort of rub on it. I tend to use the back of my X-Acto to kind of burnish on it if I want to get it, to push it down onto the artwork and stuff like that. So that's something that I'm comfortable doing. I know with the deleters, there actually is another piece that goes with it, and I just got to look for it and find it. But again, I'm not breaking those out just because I'm not confident enough in using them. I haven't played around with them, and I've just been so busy. I mean, I think the thing about it is, I want people to understand that as much as I enjoy doing Letratone, and tones look great on artwork, to invest in doing it, it's just, it's one of those things where you got to sit down and weigh the time. If I'm on a schedule trying to do a comic book, is it mindful? Is it going to be really mindful of me to add on an amount of work to do that comic book when you have a certain time frame that's laid out, to get the job done, and still be able to maintain all the other stuff? Like if I happen to get another gig that comes in, I got to work on some artwork and whatever and stuff like that. Those days of me, just breakneck nights and and caffeine and all that nonsense, I don't do those anymore. So my thing is that, you know, yeah, I use the tools that I have at hand. I have Photoshop, you know, I actually have a subscription to Photoshop, and I have screen tones on there in my brushes. So why not use those screen tones to help enhance the artwork that I already have that's laid out and stuff like that. And if I do decide to use what limited amount of Letratone I have, then the piece that I do create, the value on it is going to go extremely high. The cost to own it's going to be very high, and it's much more rarer. So that's pretty much my frame of thought on that whole thing. I think that it would raise my rate for comic book work up immensely if I had to end up doing the extra time for putting down screen tones and stuff like that. And I just don't see it. I don't see why it's needed when you can just do screen tones in the computer, and it's much more faster. So that's pretty much my logic behind that. All right, here we go. I'm going to move these aside for a little bit. I'm going to go through the process. This is an X-Acto blade. This one's very dull. I would say be very, very careful. I've actually had this X-Acto blade for a very long time. I actually have some old tape on here. That's how old. It's crazy. I don't like to get... I don't know if I had this one since art school. I feel like I might have. I might have had this since art school. All right, I'm gonna see if I can pull out some of these, my blades. Yeah, sorry, it's gonna take a little bit. Oh, it's never easy. X-Acto blades get in here, and you gotta be so careful because these are, see, one of them just fell out, and you gotta be so careful because these are like, think of scalpels. This is literally like a scalpel, and you can really injure yourself very bad. So right now I have two of these blades together, and I'm just I can try to break it apart. As you can see, I haven't used these in so long. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try to split it apart. I'm very careful with these because I remember in art school I kind of cut myself a lot with these, and I learned the hard way, and it's painful. So yeah, you got to be careful. So I put it back in my dispenser. This is that other thing, you know. Again, this is the stuff where, you know, it just takes a lot. So anyway, here's my new blade. I'm gonna put that in. See, look at that. And I have not yet even started applying anything. Look at that, just that amount of time just wasted. You know, and time means a lot, you know, when you're doing these things, you know, it's time. All right, so let's start with one. Let's start with B1 right here. So he's mechanized. So what I'm gonna do is, all right, I got a couple of shards. And the thing about this stuff, because it's so rare, you don't wanna waste anything. So I just grabbed a little sheet of it and stuff off. It's gonna be, I don't have that much room, it's kind of limiting, but let's see. So I got this over here. So I'm gonna cut a little piece off. And you kind of eyeball it, you know. For me, I eyeball it. And you grab a little piece and you just kind of see. Boy, and sometimes it can stick to your fingers and stuff like that. So I'm gonna lay it down. So then technically what you do, you just kind of find the area that you like. The good thing about Letratone is that you can lie it right on the entire ink. Let's see, you can lie it on the entire ink and stuff, and it just, you know, you can still see the ink through it. But the tricky part is getting a piece that can kind of fit. So you got to finagle with it, you know. So got it down. Now this is where I would use the burnisher. But I use the back of my X-Acto blade, kind of burnish it down a little bit, and then you go in, all right, and gently cut. And then it's the pulling up segment, and I have so many various pieces. You know, it is a tedious process. Let me see if I can get some more light down here so you guys can see. Now you make sure you want to try to burnish it down as much as you can. And this is a darker value, but this is all I have right now. I'm sure the leader stuff would have been much lighter, but again, like I said, I just don't want to mess around with it just yet. And then, you know, the worst is like trial and error, trying to figure things out, and you start screwing the piece up even more. It's like I just don't want to do that. All right, so gently go in, and so it's very much time consuming. Now, I also have a let's see if I can. Where's it at? Now, so you go in here and you burnish it. I don't know how the leaders are. Now, see, what happened is I missed some of this over here, which is coming up on that edge right there. So if I wanted to, I can sort of look around for a little piece and kind of see if I can finagle it down there. But as you can see, that turns into a new, you know, you're sitting there trying to slowly see if you can just piece that in there. Did I get the right side? Nope, I didn't. Thought I had the right size. Okay, there you go. So you guys can see, I mean, it's a, if I was to do work like this, I would definitely charge a lot more of what my fee would be, my rate. Oh, I don't know if it's gonna stick on there. And it's such a separate piece too, I don't know. It's coming right on the fold. So it's really tricky. So let's see. I don't know if it's stuck in there. Let's see. All right. Okay. See if I can get that in there, match that in there. Yeah, that piece is gonna separate. Yeah, I think that's gonna be a trick. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna try to separate it so then I can take the, and then I used removable tape on it and stuff. I think got a little bit of some tear right on there too. I don't know if that's the white. It's always tough. Okay, go in there and try to clean it up best I can. I'll try to get it on there so that it won't move. All right. Okay, so that's one piece. That's one down. I think some of the white might have hit in there and got in the back, which is unfortunate. Yeah. Okay, so that's one. So why don't we do it that way? So we go out like that, and then. All right, let me see if I can find another piece. So again, this is like a, you know, you just kind of find pieces that you think can work in there. You know, I hate trying to waste anything. Some of these are definitely garbage. They've been kind of mashed together and stuff. So then I gotta just try to trash them. But let's see what we got. Oh boy, let's see what we got. I don't know if that's gonna fit in there. And you just kind of finagle. See, that won't fit. I don't like that. So I look around. I say, well, is there any other place I can put it? And then, yeah, this, I don't know. Let me see. Is that wide enough? Okay. Let's see. A little bit. So I'll put that back in. I'll put that in there. And again, you kind of, you know, since this isn't the actual burnisher, but it still works somewhat. You know, you just want to kind of burnish it down, and then you go in very gently, nice sharp X-Acto blade, and just, you know, cut around. And usually what I try to do is, you know, because the black line, the good thing too is that I used to, you know, I still do kind of, is like I'll draw right on it, you know. But yeah, okay, make sure I got it off. It's tedious stuff. You really got to commit yourself to the project when you're doing stuff like this. Yeah. So yeah, it looks nice. Okay, there you go. I say I missed a little bit up on there, so maybe I can use a little bit of it, so come in there with that. The good thing about the card that we have with Cowboys and Cowboys is that it's a nice thick one, so there's no fear of cutting right through it and stuff, which is important. Okay, pull that out. Hopefully that can be seen and stuff. All right, boom. All right, so there you go. You're seeing this is how it is. It's just, you know, you just go in and you just kind of have to cut in here and take pieces out. But again, it's a very tedious kind of process. You know, making sure that everything is really down and stuff, and you don't want pieces to be coming off and stuff. So let's see, boom. Let's see. So then I sit there and I go, well, you know, maybe I want to put some on the back. So I gotta go in and kind of finagle this. And I can always add a little black in there and stuff to kind of balance, but you know, you want to kind of balance it out, you know. So it's a nice, the color isn't that bad either, because it gives a nice dark shadow kind of. Yeah, I gotta burnish it down a little bit. Oh, okay, pull it up. All right. Okay, let's try that. Now see, there's going to be some overlap, which is painful. So I got to kind of go in there and hopefully it hasn't. And this is why this is why doing this kind of art technique, you have to be a purist. You have to be somebody who is really committed to you know, to go all the way with it. You know, because it's definitely, it's laborious. You know, you're sitting there and you just, you know, this could turn into just hours of just, you know, going through. And I'm going to try to do this on these small little sketch cards, you know. You try to imagine a much bigger piece, you know. Can you imagine? You know, and then and if the piece has little areas and stuff like that, I mean, I personally can't even imagine, like, I mean, even when you saw them in comic books and stuff, they were very, well, first, Letratone was expensive. Screen tone was very, you know, was expensive and costly. So they were very sparingly that you would see it. It would pop up on certain things. You know, stars, you know, they look great with star scenes, and they wanted to show some shadow on a character to pop it out. Yeah, this is gonna be tricky because I got an overlay on it, so I gotta kind of, oh man, I gotta finagle it, so I gotta make sure I don't. All right, so again, it's really good that this card is thick. It's like a 32 point. Come on, get that little piece. Come on. Oh, there you go. Oh, man. And then I'm gonna come in and go over it again and try to press it and make sure that these don't, oh yeah, I got a little extra over here. And again, the good part is that you don't have to worry about the black, you know, it's supposed to look like that. You know, if somebody was trying to go around the black and on it, oh my God, you know, I couldn't even fathom that. I'm sure there's people who are like hardcore and they're just like, Yeah, I can't have any of it on the black, and kudos to them, because I'm like, no way, man. All right. So this is a mashup video, like my previous videos. So before I leave, I just want to show one more little technique, and then I'm gonna go into hyperlapse. This is a little technique I learned too, and what's great. See, I don't know how the deleter screen tones are, but this is an electric eraser. Used to use it. Look, I got my name on it. This is when I used to do a lot of ad agency stuff. You know, things happen and stuff get misplaced, and you sitting there and you're like, dude, where's my electric razor? The one with my name on it. So what we would do is, if you want to add like a shine on it, or to show like a little fade effect, you can come in with your electric eraser and kind of, you know, erase some of the little bit in there. You know, like the Letratones are so great for that. I can see it a little bit there. What I'll do is maybe I'll put it on the leg. Let me just see if I'll balance out a little bit. Okay, why don't I do it on here so you guys can really see it. So you can erase a little bit of it. So that's how you would create that sort of effect. If you saw in like mangas and stuff like that, they kind of erase it. I gotta do it lightly. All right, there you go. So you get a little sign in there. And you can go in with a white pencil, or you can go with even like the white gel pens and stuff, and sort of spruce it up. I'm probably gonna go over this again with a little bit of ink, just to kind of, because using the electric eraser can kind of hit on your ink lines and stuff, so you want to be careful. But anyway, yeah. So I just hit that just a little bit, but yeah, there you go. So the rest of these, I'm going into hyperlapse. I just want to say, hey, there you go. This is the start of it. So I'm gonna see how much I can get these going. And as always, I'm so happy that you came and you're checking out the video, and you know, and hopefully you know, it's inspiring you, or just, you know, giving you that extra little oomph to maybe go out there and do your own thing. So with that said, hey man, yeah, keep that art flowing. Bye.